Shemai, this is lesson 13 on how to read music on our bass ukuleles. So you can probably still hear it in my voice. I've had a horrible cold for about 3, maybe even 4 weeks now. Not COVID or anything like that, just a horrible cold, sore throat, cough. So that's why this has been a little bit delayed. So I am so sorry I'm making you wait for these. But as I said, lesson 13, how to read music using this Team Strings. It's actually a double bass book. If you haven't got the Team Strings book, I would highly recommend it because there's backing tracks and music to go with it, and I don't cover every page in these lessons, but I will be putting the music up that I cover in these videos on the screen. So looking at page 32 to start with, and just 1 or 2 from page 34 as well. But of course, if you've got the book, feel free to play everything else in there as well, okay? So, page 32, 3/4 time. That's actually, excuse me, a time signature. Almost everything we've played so far has been in 4/4 time. That just means that every bar, the bits in between the vertical lines, add up to 4 beats. We actually did 2/4 time signature in the last lesson, but today 3/4 means every bar is going to add up to 3. And I've actually done a video on time, on values, note values, and possibly even time signatures as well. All right, so it's worth checking that out. But all you've got to remember is today's lesson, they're all going to add up to 3. So 3 is the magic number. Now, of course, our note that adds up to 3 beats is our dotted minim. You can see it there now. All right, and then you can see the next bar has got 3 crotchets. Okay, or 3 quarter beats, and they'll add up to 3 because 3 times 1 is 3, followed by a minim, followed by a crotchet. So that bar adds up to 3, and then we finish with another dotted minim at the end. So I'm actually going to play that top line for you just so you can hear the rhythm of it, okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so always counting to 3 when we're in 3/4 time signature. So the first piece we're going to look at today is Waltz. Doesn't say who wrote the waltz, but generally a waltz is a dance in 3/4 time. Cha cha, cha cha. All right. Now, as bass players, we would normally play the and then other instruments would go cha cha. In this case, we're actually going to play the tune, the melody. So we're in the key of D. How do we know that? Because it's got 2 sharps at the front. So that means basically it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4th fret. All right, which we'll be playing with all 4 fingers down. And we're counting to 3 each time. So let's have a little look at the waltz. So I'm going to count all the way through this one to start with. All right, and we will try it again in a moment, hopefully without me counting. So with counting, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How did you get on? Now, that's quite a nice one to start with because we're actually playing on all 4 of the strings as well. So a good, nice large range of notes. So we'll try the waltz one more time without me counting, but I will count us in. Here we go. A 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 3. Next line. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And of course, you should be counting all the time in your head, or possibly quietly tapping your toes. All right, but try and keep that time going, because as a bass player as well, you really are very much in charge of rhythm. Okay, if you're playing with your ukulele group, all right, you need to have a good steady beat, whether it's 4/4 time signature, 3/4, or 2/4. So the next piece, Going Home. All right, there are a couple of little extra things with this. Probably not something you're going to need to know, but I'll cover it as it does point it out. So we're in 3/4. This time there are no sharps in that key signature. That means it's going to be 3rd fret. I'm just checking there. Yeah, so it's 3rd fret on the A string. All right. I can't see any Fs, so I'm going to worry about the D string. All right. But whenever you're playing a C, it's just going to be 3rd fret. Okay. Now then, this other thing, fine. If you look at the very end, it says D, C, al fine. That means go back to the beginning and finish where it is marked fine. Fine means end. All right. So in reality, that means we're going to play the first line. Then we're going to play the second line. Then we're going to go back to the beginning and play that first line again. It's just one way the composers use, so they don't have to write out exactly the same thing several times. But it's nice to know, all right? So fine means end. DC al fine means go back to the beginning and play through to where it's marked fine. And if you've got the book, you will notice that the keyboard sign there means there is a backing track or an accompaniment to go with this one. Before we start, I've just spotted it's going to be 3rd fret on the E string as well, because there's some G's in there, okay? Okay, so Going Home, I'll count us in. But remember, when we get to the end, I'm going to go back to the beginning and play that first line again, okay? Or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 2. Next line. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. Back to the beginning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we got to the fine or the end. You probably will have to practice these a little bit, especially now because we've got 3rd fret in some of the pieces of music and 4th fret, all depending what the key signature or the sharps or flats at the beginning say. And talking of sharps, Blow the Wind Southerly, the bottom one on page 32, 3/4 time signature, 1 sharp, that's telling us we're in the key of G major, all right, which means it's going to be 4th fingers on the G string and 4th fingers on the D string, but only 2nd finger or 3rd fret on the A string. Okay, so G string, 4th fret, D string, 4th fret, A string, 3rd fret, and we're not playing on the E. Okay, with counting, blow the wind southerly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to go a little bit faster. I'm not counting in this one, but I will count us in. 1, 2, 3. So that's page 32 done. I'm not going to look at page 33 chanson. There are 3 different parts to the same piece on there. All right, so if you've got the book, by all means have a go of it. But as I said, it's only really the top one has got the tune. The other 2 parts are harmonies. Page 34. All right, I'm only going to look at oranges and lemons. My throat is starting to tickle a little bit. All right, so as I said, I'm going to keep this nice and short. Just in case you've got the book, let me just quickly explain. At the very top, there is a funny sign or segno, all right? Like we just did with the DCL fine goes back to the beginning. This one, di segno fine, just means you go back to the sign. Don't worry, the chances of you coming across these kind of signs in ukulele music is very, very slim. Okay, so Oranges and Lemons, another English traditional song. We're in the key of D major. So that means, in fact, just looking at this, it's going to be 4th fret on the D string. And that's pretty much it, because it's mainly on the D string with the odd open G and first finger on the G string, which is an A. All right, Oranges and Lemons with counting are 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget, you can stop, rewind, go back, practice, play it again, and you may well have to. So Oranges and Lemons for the final time. I'll count us in, but you're going to have to count yourself. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And of course, with an open string at the end, you've always got to stop it ringing to make sure it's only the correct length, 3 beats. So that's lesson 13 done, short and sweet. Practice, okay? Practice keeping in time. And don't forget, you pull the strings across, okay, with your plucking, and you use all your fingers with your left hand. Hopefully, the next ones are going to be a little bit quicker. I seem to be on the road to recovery now. As always, though, if you've got a comment or a question, please feel free. Leave it below. Give us a like if you've enjoyed. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you for watching.